G.D.N.O system and we're a blendy spaghetti mess, but it's mostly Jenna in front. So today I want to talk about holiday trauma. Oh my word. I don't want to talk about holiday trauma, but it's a big deal. So I assume that there's plenty of you guys out there who experience it as well, and that this might be helpful for you. So I'm gonna talk about it. I'm not going to mention my specific trauma. So for those of you who are watching, it's okay. I'm just going to be kind of mentioning general holiday-ish things. And here's why that's important, because if you have trauma associated with a holiday that the entire nation celebrates, then the entire nation is doing things that trigger you. I can't go into a store where Christmas music is not playing, and they play it earlier and earlier, and it triggers me. And Christmas trees, like even specific sayings or foods or smells. So for those of us with holiday trauma, the whole nation celebrating makes it impossible for us to avoid triggers. Though it actually helps confronting trauma, which is what we're supposed to be doing, but who likes to do that? It's no fun. Anyway, though I say that, confronting trauma has been really helpful. So what's helped me? One, learning what was triggering me. Sometimes you can't, like, especially when there's just Christmas stuff around and all of a sudden you're more anxious and you don't know why you're more anxious and you don't realize it's because there's a song playing in the background. That if you can identify your specific triggers, that's incredibly helpful. So for me, Christmas trees are a trigger, but more than that, specific types of ornaments are a trigger. So once we realized that, we removed all of those ornaments from the tree. About different types of ornaments. And while Christmas trees themselves are triggering, despite doing trauma processing, I have children. And so this is just a compromise that I've made. I know that when I put up the tree, the next several days, I'm going to be dissociative. I'm going to have a hard time. There's a video in my backlogs of me being like, I didn't know what I was having a problem with. Oh, and then I remembered that Christmas tree. And so that's just gonna be a thing that happens. And so I have to work on grounding and self-care and know that when I put up the tree, I need to take extra good care of me. So, but just knowing that that is a trigger is really empowering and can help, ease symptoms. So for those of you with holiday trauma, if you can identify your triggers, can you change those? You can choose to celebrate a different holiday, not to celebrate at all. But if you continue to celebrate the holiday, can you celebrate it in a different way? This is something that we've done with our family. When I was realizing through therapy and working on my stuff how much of an issue Christmas was for me, we let the spouse's family know that I was not in on any activity. All the big happy whatevers that they had planned, my answer was no, unless on the day I felt like I could deal with it. And that was hard for them. But because they are, understanding and understand what trauma is and how it works to some extent, they were willing to, be like, okay, if that's what you need. And it was definitely what I needed. And then I was actually able to participate without dread in some of the celebrations, because on that day I was having a good day and I was like, you know what, I will come to the thing here and have a great time, and not have to like build it up in my head like I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. So having the people around you have proper expectations is another really important thing. I just let people know it's Christmas, I will be having a hard time. It's happening. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, there is. I'm in counseling. I'm working on grounding. I'm identifying my triggers. I'm changing how I celebrate. But I'm still going to have a hard time. So despite all the things that I can do, this is just how it's going to be. Other things that have helped me are having like chosen family. So there are family that you're going to celebrate with, and family that you choose to celebrate with. For me, having that agency to be like, you know what? I'm gonna opt out of this and opt into this has been part of the healing process. To say, oh, this gets toxic. I don't want to do that. That's not healthy for me. And that's really difficult, guys. I am super conflict avoidant. Lots of counseling. People are like, how do you do that? Lots of counseling. That's how I do that. And then it's still really difficult. But having chosen family has been just healing, to say, you are my people and I want to celebrate and show love with you. Because I've realized that there's a beauty to having a holiday, whether it's the one that everyone is celebrating or not. Gathering the people you love to you, making special foods like that you normally don't because it's too involved, and just getting together and sharing love, that's important. So choosing to do that how you want to, with the people you want to, can be really empowering and healing. And finally, things that cause you anxiety but you want to participate in, think about how you can reframe them. So gifts are hard for me. If you pay attention at all to the 5 love languages, that is not my love language. And I'm always happy to receive a gift, but I almost never think about giving gifts. And so I know that's important. And it's like really would make somebody sad if I didn't, whatever. And then I get really anxious and then I'm like, So I just reframed it and thought, okay, so people give me gifts and I give them gifts to show love. This, regardless of what it is, even if it's not the best gift, even if it's not the best gift from them, is a symbol of love. And that I can get on board with, because now I'm like, oh, look, I love you. And whatever they give me back, there's not a pressure on it. Like, it's just love. So I really recommend reframing the activities that you choose to participate in as well, because that can be super helpful. So this was probably very rambly because I have been spacey and foggy and dissociative because it's the holidays. And I'm gonna do extra self-care. I recommend all of you guys take care of yourself. Even if you're not doing what you think is the best you can do, you probably are doing the best that you can do right now. So give yourself permission just to not be okay right now. That's okay. Have you been in a funk lately? Had trouble focusing? Feel like you're walking through a fog? You could be suffering from holiday trauma. Symptoms include, but are not limited to, depression, anxiety, irritability, trouble with sleeping or eating, physical pain, or just wanting to hit well-wishers in the face. What can be done about this overall seasonal grinchiness? Aside from therapy and medication, have you tried permission and self-care? This holiday season, I give you permission to tell Aunt Linda, no, you won't be coming to the big holiday dinner. Instead of going to a triggering holiday function, you have permission to stay home and take a bubble bath with candles. Yes. For intransigent cases of holiday trauma, you may want to see a doctor or go to the hospital. This also gives you a convenient out of that big holiday function you didn't want to go to anyway. For mild to moderate cases of holiday trauma, you survive however you fucking survive. You now have permission. Go do some self-care.